We're Charlie and Leanne, a couple from California who left our cushy suburban life to spend the next several years cruising around the Pacific Ocean on our boat, Juliet. And our little dog, too. In our last episode, we were in Guadalajara, the first stop on our 3.5-month hurricane season tour through Mexico's historic colonial cities. Now we are headed to stop number 2, San Luis Potosi, deep in the central highlands of Mexico. And we're off. Bus just left Guadalajara. We got 5 hours till we get to San Luis Potosi. Traveling by bus in Mexico is truly a wonderful experience, way better than flying. The seats are larger, comfortable, with lots of legroom, and there's a whole lot more to see out the window than just clouds. No arriving hours in advance, no airport security, and with the proper documentation, we can bring Bubba in the seat with us. He likes it too, although he slept through most of it. We have a thing going now. First thing we do when we get to a new city, go to the corner neighborhood taco stop. Once we got settled into our Airbnb, it was time to take Bubba out for his first walk in our new city. Right around the corner from our house is Tequis Park, a small but very beautiful park and gardens. This would end up becoming our favorite place in San Luis Potosi, and I think our favorite park so far in Mexico. Every evening, this park comes alive with food carts, musicians, strolling couples, multi-generational families, all enjoying the clean sidewalks, lush trees, and beautiful lighting. And there's a lovely garden and temple. The next morning, we took our first walk into the Centro Histórico, about a 1.25 mile walk from our house. Of course, you know this is going to involve a lot of very old, historic, and beautiful churches and stunning plazas. The first plaza we came across is called Plaza Fundadores, where there is some kind of art exhibit with large posters of paintings surrounding the plaza. On one corner stands the Chapel of Our Lady of Loreto, a Baroque structure built in the 16th century. The interior of the church is lovely, although not as impressive as some others. But maybe I'm just getting spoiled, since so many of the cathedrals and basilicas we've been seeing in Mexico are so eye-poppingly ornate. From there, we walked to the main plaza in San Luis Potosi, Plaza de las Armas, the primary gathering place in this city. It's always quite busy, with vendors, buskers, and always a lot of tourists. But here's the interesting part. They're almost all Mexicans. We hardly saw any gringos in the entire city. In the center of this plaza is a large neoclassic gazebo made of pink granite, where in the evenings you could sometimes find orchestras playing classical music. But the main draw of this plaza is the iconic Cathedral Metropolitana. This Baroque cathedral was built in the late 1600s and is the seat of the Catholic Archdiocese. It's considered the most important monument in the state. When I peeked inside, I saw that there was a wedding going on. How fun! I didn't want to be intrusive, so I just snapped a couple of shots, but you can see how impressive this neoclassic interior is. Something else we found at Plaza de Armas, this guy. There were various people dressed in costumes, but we thought his was the coolest. We kept running into him. Never did get his name, but Charlie took a real shining to him. Oh, and then there was this guy. And this guy. And this family. And this guy. Although they weren't nearly as good conversationalists. Who's your new friend?
He's the king.
What are you?
I'm the king of Juliet.
I thought maybe you were the jester. Our next stop was Plaza del Carmen, a picturesque square anchored by the Templo de Nuestra Señora del Carmen, another incredibly ornate Baroque church that also used to house a convent for Carmelite nuns. Now this one knocked my socks off. Just look at that facade. This one was built in the late 1700s, and the carvings on the exterior include apostles made of marble, which are duplicates of statues in St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. The facade also includes many Gothic elements. Stepping inside the temple, it's just as jaw-dropping as the outside. There are magnificent gilded stone altars, sumptuously ornate chapels, and beautifully carved pilasters, with neoclassic, Baroque, and Rococo designs. In addition to being an artistic monument, the temple has been the scene of numerous historical events, such as a night in 1810 when Potosi insurgents took over the convent during the War of Independence in order to free prisoners loyal to Miguel Hidalgo y Castilla. It also played a role during the 1857 War of Reformation and the Cristero War in 1926.
Looks like Sunday night is the night to be here in Tequis Park. And Tequis Park is the place to be on Sunday night. It's so fun to see all the families out here together. This place is really crowded and it's all families and everybody's having a great time, and there's food carts and dancing, and it's just a really nice scene. We're really just loving this. And this is literally right around the corner from our house. Charlie tried elotes in Guadalajara and they were not very good. So he's going to try some elotes again here in San Luis Potosi and see if they're better. Well, I have to assume they're better because there's a long line for them. Interesting how there's nobody lined up at the other cart, which is literally right next door to it. Well, how is it compared to what you had in Guadalajara?
Better.
Well, this is unexpected. I'm on a run in Tangamanga Park, the second largest park in Mexico. It's a great running route. But anyway, here we are in this public park, and there's a herd of sheep. I don't know what a herd of sheep is doing here, but it's kind of cool to watch. They seem to be doing a pretty good job of chowing down on the grass here, so this is probably cheaper than mowing.
Tangamanga Park is the second largest urban park in Mexico. It's a lush green oasis in the south part of the city, crisscrossed with great running paths and dotted with picnic areas, small lakes, and playgrounds. It has several sporting facilities, including baseball and soccer fields, tennis courts, and even archery. There's also a planetarium and an outdoor theater. It was about a mile from our house, so I could easily run there, run around it, and then back every morning to get in my 6 miles. It's also a great place just to take a nice long walk. If you have young children, Tangamanga Park also has an interactive museum that is a fabulous place for kids. There's a tiny zoo where you get to pet the animals, lots of interactive displays, and even a cactus maze. Just like last summer, our travel plans often intersected with our friends Randy and Patty from the sailboat Restless Soul. We spent time with them in Guadalajara, and now they were joining us in San Luis Potosi. First order of business, of course, is to share a meal together. We found this really charming brew pub in a historic building down an alleyway near the Temple of San Francisco. We tried some of the local specialties, including this dish, which is called enchiladas potosino. It was very different from any enchiladas I'd had before, and it was delicious. After lunch, we headed out to wander around the neighborhood, and we happened upon this enormous outdoor craft market.
It's an artisan market from all the various regions in Mexico.
about to go into the Museo Nacional de Mascara, which is a museum of, I think it's indigenous masks, some kind of masks. We'll go inside and find out.
Okay, so what this is an astonishing collection of elaborate masks from all over Mexico, ranging from the pre-Hispanic period to the present. It's located in a former mansion on Plaza del Carmen. It's definitely worth a visit. Some of the masks were rather creepy, and others were stunning in their artistry. Wait, this guy looks familiar. Isn't that Karnak the Magnificent? And I don't know who that guy is. Well, whoever he is, he made some new friends today. After such a long day, nothing sounded better than some elotes in the park.
Well, I got my elotes from our favorite elotes cart, Elotes Tequis here at Tequis Park, and I'm about to enjoy it. This is my dinner. I'm not having anything else for dinner tonight because I had a really big lunch, so. Way better than the elotes we had in Guadalajara. What do you got there, Charlie?
Juanita's Tacos Rojos. Not sure what's in it. It looks good. It's only 25 pesos
Pretty cheap dinner.
for 3 of them in salsa.
Turns out Bubba loves this park too. It makes him feel tall. San Luis Potosi is rich with museums, so we made a list of the ones we still wanted to hit. Today's visit is to Museo Federico Silva, dedicated to the sculptures of one of Mexico's most famous contemporary artists. The 17th century neoclassic building was once a hospital and later a school. It now houses a wonderful collection of Silva's work, including his monolithic sculptures, as well as works of other international sculptors. That evening, we all headed into Centro Historico to check out the entertainment. We'd heard that there's live music there on Thursday nights. The cathedral was beautifully lit up, and we found an orchestra playing classical music in the gazebo. Looks like we humans weren't the only creatures enjoying the show. It wouldn't be Mexico if they didn't end with some fireworks. We were told the Centro de Artes is a place not to be missed, so that was our next venture. The buildings that house this cultural center used to be a state penitentiary, which has been restored and repurposed. It's an imposing fortress with castle-like watchtowers at the entrance, and it has quite a rich history, as you can imagine, having housed both criminals and political prisoners over the centuries of its use. Now it contains the Leonora Carrington Museum, as well as other art collections. In the central courtyard are several of Leonora Carrington's distinctive sculptures. Leonora Carrington was a British artist and novelist who lived most of her adult life in Mexico City, and was one of the last surviving participants in the Surrealist movement of the 1930s. I found her art to be oddly moving, but also fun and quirky. These little display rooms were the cells in the prison where the inmates lived. So that's kind of creepy to know that we are standing in cells that prisoners lived in. Behind the main prison is a panopticon, which is a prison concept that involves a central tower within a circle of prison cells. From the tower, a guard can see every cell and inmate, but the inmates can't see into the tower, so they never know when they are being watched. Creepy. Anyway, this section has been transformed into schools, each building for a different art discipline: painting, sculpting, writing, music, even dance. Just a short walk from the Arts Center is one of the most impressive churches in San Luis Potosi. This is the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe, yet another Baroque masterpiece, this one dating back to the late 1700s. It has the 2 tallest church towers in the city, and of course you have to see the impressive interior. I sure hope you're not sick of this park, because we sure aren't. This place had just the most amazing vibe, and I can totally imagine wanting to live here just to be able to come to this park every night. It reminded me of our trips to Italy, where every town has a central piazza, and everyone goes there in the evenings to stroll, see their neighbors, and catch up on the local gossip. This place just felt magical to us, with something going on every single night.
We had Juanita's tacos for dinner tonight. They are the best. Tacos Potosinos. Never had them anywhere else. They're obviously something special, unique to San Luis Potosi, and they were yummy.
There can't be many places in the world where you can learn the history of indigenous Mexico, explore an exhibition of 18th century clothing, and see both pre-Hispanic and contemporary art, all on the grounds of a turn-of-the-century Irish merchant family's mansion in the middle of a city. This is the Museo Francisco Cosio, just a few blocks down from our house. Charlie was really intrigued by this particular sculpture. A couple other things we really liked about this city. They keep it super clean and welcoming. You'll find these beautiful benches all over the city and in the parks. Also, just like in Guadalajara, every Sunday they shut down a major thoroughfare to cars and open it to foot traffic and bicycles. This gave me a nice change from running in the park. Oh, and with all that running, I gotta keep up my protein intake.
What do you have there?
A little bag of chapulines. Chapulines are a little snack food that I learned about when we were in Oaxaca last summer. They are chili spice fried grasshoppers, and they're really quite good. They're kind of spicy and crispy, and they got a nice little flavor. Oh my God, that one's alive! Kidding.
Before we finish up here, I need to point out that this was just a taste of what beautiful San Luis Potosi has to offer. But we just can't show it all to you in one episode. There were other stunning churches, impressive monuments, interesting museums, and charming plazas. Oh, and there was also this.
Here's Bubba's favorite dessert place.
Bubba Bubba.
Hey, Bubba matters too. We hope you learned something about this beautiful old colonial city in the heart of Mexican Central Highlands. Our next episode will feature our visit to La Huasteca Potosino, the stunning and adventurous waterfall district of Mexico, where we did some crazy stuff. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss that. If you enjoyed our video, please hit like and be sure to subscribe.